Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and if you're new here, my name is Dana Channel. I've been a virtual assistant since 2022. I've been an online business manager since 2024. I've been a virtual assistant mentor since 2025, that is last year. And well, welcome to this corner where we go into a little more details than required sometimes, but sometimes I get straight to the point. Okay, anyway, so do not forget to watch the video to the end. There is always insight to gain from my videos. Do not forget to like the video. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel. I post a video every single week. And do not forget to what have I forgotten, by the way? I'm very excited as I'm recording this today because the video I'm recording, I'm going to talk about, do not forget to comment. And when it comes to comments, we are open to discussions over here. So you can leave anything. If you watch the end and feel like, oh, she left something out, put it on there. If you have a question, put it on there, or you can send. If you go to my channel, there is an email, so you can always send me an email if you have any questions as well, and I will respond to them to the best of my ability and to the best of my experience. Okay, now on to my excitement. This video is why you as a virtual assistant, why you as a remote worker, why you as a freelancer should start creating video content. Okay, and I'm going to give you pointers on why you should start. Okay, but I'm going to talk about why I'm recording this video, what excited me to record this video today. So I'm just, as I'm recording this video, I'm just from it is basically a workshop. It was in New York. One of my clients is in New York. She's a consultant, she's a tech consultant, and today she had a workshop where she was talking to other executives. She was like tech executives, that is, and she got me on paid, by the way. It was a paid session for 30 minutes, answering questions about operations, answering questions about delegation, because there was a section in her workshop where she was covering delegation, you know. And so they had just had questions on how working with a virtual assistant, how it works, when it is favorable to have a VA and when it's not, you know, regarding taxes and laws, and why a VA, not an on-site business, you know, a lot of those questions. Okay, I'm not going to, if I start talking about them, I'll record a whole 1 hour video because it's something I get really excited about. As someone who's also done recruiting before, I did not like it, but I've done recruiting, so I understand exactly how teams work, how people fit their teams and everything. Anyway, so my point is, this is why you should start to, as a virtual assistant, you don't have to post them, but I would advise you to post them, because I've only been making content for a year, by the way. Can you believe that? Because today I had I'm going to call it a speaking gig, a paid speaking gig, even though I got it through my client, but it was good money. It is good money. And I talked to, imagine, 50 executives, tech executives in New York. Do you understand how, you know, important that room was? And that is the room I've been speaking to. So the very first reason why you should start creating video content as a freelancer, as a remote worker, as a virtual assistant, is confidence. Ever since I started creating content, that is last year, consistently creating video content, I started with TikTok, and I just for YouTube, yeah, mostly TikTok and YouTube, it boosted my confidence a lot. Confidence in speaking about the things that I do. By the way, today, in today's Q&A session, in today's talking, I didn't even refer to my notes. Like, my book is right here, but I didn't refer to my notes once, because these are things that I talk about every single day. I talk about them with my clients, I talk about them with my mentees, I talk about them on my TikTok videos, I talk about them on YouTube. So start making video content. It's the biggest, the greatest, the most. Why is there another superlative that you can use there? So yeah, it's very important, and it boosts your confidence a lot. Okay, and then the second thing, I'm just going to, I wrote them down because I'm too excited and I thought I might forget some things. So the very first one is confidence. The second one is clients' trust faces. Okay, there's just that essence of trust building. There is just essence of connection that comes with clients just seeing your face and seeing how you speak. And also, I'll mention this as someone, again, I always mention, since I come from Kenya, I tend to I experience firsthand what it means being an African and Kenyan virtual assistant who is seeking clients from first world countries mostly, okay, from the West and from the UK, okay? And so I'm going to speak as someone who does that. So seeing your face and listening to you speak and seeing you actually talk and communicating in a language that they understand, it brings a lot of trust when it comes to clients, okay? So start creating video content because of that. And then another reason is, this one I'm just going to take on top of my head, I think I forgot to write it down, is if you're someone like me, I used to have a lot of fear. I still have it. fear of being seen and fear of being perceived. The more you create video content, the more you put your thoughts out there, the more, it doesn't matter what it is. By the way, it doesn't even need to be about being a virtual assistant. I'm just talking about speaking on video every single day. You don't even need to build like a whole community out of it. Okay, I do love building a community just from me creating videos, but you don't need to build anything out of it. You just need to get used to people listening to your thoughts. People listen, because it's 2026. Okay, no one is hiring email and calendar management anymore. People are hiring virtual assistants who can speak their minds, virtual assistants who have something else to bring to the table, and that is thoughts, that is ideas, that is strategies. You need to have something to add. Okay, and if you're not creating video content, if you're not used to speaking your mind, if you're not used to put your thoughts across, it's going to be very hard even to work with your clients. Okay, so start making video contents for that. Okay, it will help you get over the fear of being seen and being perceived. Okay, and then something else, it will help you build a personal brand. Okay, and I'm going to say this, okay, as someone who's technically has built a personal brand, or maybe hasn't, but I truly believe I have built a personal brand. Okay, so just by creating video content, and you can build, of course you can build a personal brand on, like, let's say LinkedIn, where it's just mostly written content. You can do it on Facebook, you can do it on, but for Instagram and things like TikTok, even for LinkedIn and Facebook, at least once in a while, you need to be able to put your face across. You need to be able to talk, to build that strong personal brand. And sometimes to build a personal brand, you have to maybe have speaking gigs, like I just had. Okay, so yeah, so please start creating video content. Okay, and then back to my list now. Yes, I mentioned confidence and by people. Okay, I know this is a cliche. I know it sounds like one of those things we used to write in compositions back in high school. Wait, in high school we didn't have cliches. They stopped in primary. People by people. This is motivational. It's more like a thought leadership kind of thing. But please start creating video content, because people by people, and by seeing you, they can be able to convince themselves. By the way, you don't need your clients to convince. You don't need to convince your clients to hire you. You need to convince them. You need to ensure that they are convincing themselves they need you. Okay, that is something I'll talk about in a different video, but for today, just by seeing you, they can be able to picture working with you. They can understand you, and that is one of the things that they need to convince themselves they need you, and they can hire you, and they can work with you. Okay, and then build your authority just by speaking my thoughts, my tone, my everything. I just come as I am. That is what I do. And in your videos, at first you can be able to fake. You're not an influencer at the end of the day. So at first you can be able to fake it. You can be able to do those things. But at the end of the day, at one point, your authority will just naturally be built. When you keep on posting, when you keep on creating the content, your authority is going to be built just by how you show up. So it builds a lot of authority. And authority is one of the things that you can use to negotiate. Even before you go into the room, your authority will negotiate your prices, and you negotiate your rates even before you go into the room. So video content, creating content in general, but mostly videos, because writing, a lot of people can write, AI can write. Okay, so video content is one of the ways that can help you build a lot of authority. Okay, and then something else is you can bring your inbound leads. I personally, I started creating, it's been less than 2 months on Instagram. I started creating like video content at least once every while. I post video content, and I've noticed that a lot of my leads from Instagram are actually coming from the videos, because reels sometimes tend to be just pushed by Instagram, and I don't even get a lot of views, but I do get inbound leads from just my videos, just me finding a way to talk about something that has happened, maybe something that I'm thinking about, and connecting it to a personality trait of mine that is maybe I apply to a job and something. If you can just go look at my Instagram, it does bring 1 or 2 inbound leads every single video. Okay, some bring 1, some bring none, but most of them bring 1 or 2 inbound leads. Okay, so start creating video content. It still stems back to trust, I think. Okay, and that is the same as opportunities. Another thing is that it's speaking practice. I think that is just a given, that is kind of unspoken. So there's that. Okay, something else is it makes discovery calls easier. Okay, and I think I don't know if I've already posted, because I think today morning I was very nervous before the talk, because it's New York time, and right now it's 5:46, and then their time, it was like around it was like 9:30. The workshop was 9:30 their time, you know, because the executives are busy. So it was a morning hours workshop. We started at 8 and I came on at 9:30, which was around our time. It was like 4:30 p.m. I think. I tend to just look at my calendar and then it sent me a reminder. I think it was 4:30, yeah. So I came on at 4:30 and I'm just today morning I recorded a video about like one point I had. I don't know which one I'm going to post first, but yeah. So that is it. Discovery calls are going to be easier if you're someone who's used to expressing themselves on camera. Okay, so I always tell my mentees, you don't have to post them, but it is advisable to post them if you want to actually be seen, you know, and be understood for what you actually do. And so that is it. And then something else is, even in discovery calls and interviews, I think they're the same things. Okay, so start creating, because those are going to be easier. Because I think most virtual assistants, because I've recruited VBS before, and sometimes when you're interviewing them, where you are in those discovery calls with them, like when you're talking to them, you can just feel like they were cramming these things. Okay, they just went to ChatGPT, they went to any AI, and maybe even on TikTok, and then they googled interview questions, and then they just crammed. You know, they're basically just speaking like they've just crammed these things, and that is not, it's not exciting to see. It's not even something I personally would hire. Okay, so start creating video content. Okay, those are just the benefits. Again, I'm back to being excited because at one point I started explaining the points and then I got lost in the explanations of it all, but now I'm back to being excited. Maybe I might make another video about the things that used to stop me from creating. Yeah, in fact, I'm going to make it. The things that used to stop me, I used to think that I needed, just to ensure that if you're thinking these things, if you have the same fear with like the same assumptions that I used to have, you can stop having them. You can't just stop on day one. You can just do them regardless. Push through. Is push through the right word? Yeah, but that is the point. So yeah, I'm going to make that video about the things that used to stop me from creating video content. Okay, anyway, thank you for watching and see you in the next one. Do not forget to like, do not forget to subscribe, do not forget to add any comments that you have. If you have any questions, again, back to my email. It's somewhere on my channel profile. You can find my email. If it's something email worthy, you can always send me an email. I always respond to the best of my ability and to the best of my experience. Okay, to the best of my knowledge also. Okay, again, thank you for thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.